Right, hello. So we are now just waiting on Shri. I think he should be joining us quite soon. As we know, the event is more or less started, but we're just going to give a couple of seconds to see if Shri pops up first, and then we'll do introduction. The whole session will be recorded, so it will be used, and you can actually review and watch for bits that you may have missed during the actual presentation itself. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Tristan, who is the founder and editor-in-chief of TrooRa magazine. Hello, Tristan.
Hi, how are you, everyone? Thank you so much for joining TrooRa Founders Club first event, the Marketing Mastermind, thought up by Kwesi, our marketing director of This Is Run Limited, and Netcore and Regina Lawless. Thank you so much for putting this together, Kwesi.
No problem. So Tristan, obviously, some people will not know who you are and what you do, and others will be very familiar with your brand and your event and the magazine itself. So can you just tell me a little bit about your background? Let's say from your childhood, who is Tristan and what is she about?
Well, thank you so much again. My name is Tristan Cunningham. I am the founder and creative director and editor-in-chief of TrooRa magazine. I was born and raised in Haiti, and French is my first language. I had to learn how to speak English when we moved here to the States to go to college. And I used to love when I traveled to purchase magazines. They transported me to a different world and really helped me to experience different cultures, and was very inspiring. And yeah, it was very hard to move here from, going to all girls Catholic school, speaking French all of my life, until I moved here when I was 15 years old. And then I went to high school, ended up skipping a grade because I did so well in English as a second language classes that I went straight into high school and began my journey in the United States in California.
Okay, that's great. And obviously, there's quite a bit of information that you've given us there, and it seems that you obviously had to come to a new country, which is always a struggle, learning a new language, learning a new culture, and then to get to the point where you're starting a magazine. Can you tell me a bit more about the magazine itself?
Absolutely. TrooRa magazine stems from the words truly rare. And I wanted to really create a space for undiscovered talent, emerging brands, and BIPOC, LGBTQ plus, AAPI, and minority entrepreneurs to have a rightful place in the spotlight in a beautiful coffee table style, 100% sustainable magazine.
Mm-hmm.
We are digital and quarterly. In 2024, we will add a fifth issue. And really, at the core of the vision of TrooRa lies a profound commitment to empower underrepresented communities, while really connecting them to their supporters. And my hope is to reduce the inequities in funding for minority entrepreneurs, especially women, and specifically Black women. I strongly believe that the most often overlooked are the most important to listen to. And TrooRa is that space that is handing these individuals a megaphone.
Okay. And lastly, obviously, we've worked together on your latest baby, which is the Founders Club, TrooRa's Founders Club. Can you just give us a bit of an idea of what that is, what your hopes and dreams are for it, and obviously what it kind of really is all about?
Yes, so TrooRa Founders Club is, an exclusive community of innovators, high achievers, and individuals that have found their purpose in life, or individuals that are looking to find their purpose in life. Entrepreneurs, business executives. We hope to start with 500 carefully selected individuals based in the San Francisco Bay Area, and have local chapters in different cities all over the States and eventually all over the world. And again, our members are founders of their own businesses, senior executives and CEOs of today's most innovative companies, and tomorrow's most promising ventures. Members enjoy access to frequent invitation-only events in person and online. And this webinar happens to be one of our first masterclasses, which I was very proud to work with you on, Kwesi, and thank you so much for all of the ideas and for working with helping put Founders Club together.
Great. Okay, so we've also got another guest here who's our guest speaker, Regina Lawless. Hello, Regina.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Great. Okay, so can you just give the audience a bit of a background about yourself? Obviously, you work at Meta, and it's a big brand, but can you just give us a bit of information about how you got to Meta and what led you to get to that organization?
Yes. So I just recently, in the last couple of months, left Meta. I worked there for just under 3 years and was the head of diversity, equity, inclusion for Instagram, which was an awesome responsibility and an awesome role to hold. And prior to joining Meta, formerly known as Facebook, I think most people know that they've rebranded to Meta, but in case you don't know that, it's formerly Facebook. I had spent my career in HR, so I have almost 20 years of experience in human resources across multiple industries, multiple Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies, and really I specialize in leadership development and DEI. And most recently, I left Meta to actually found my own company. So I founded a company called Bossy and Blissful, which is a wellness company for Black women executives and entrepreneurs. So through that, I am coaching and creating luxurious, pampering experiences for Black women executives and entrepreneurs, because we need to unplug and take care of ourselves so we can be the bosses in our lives and in our workplaces.
Perfect. Okay, so I would introduce myself. I'm Kwesi. I'm based in London. I run a creative agency called This Is Run Limited. We are an agency that focuses on helping businesses grow from idea stage through to Fortune 500 organizations. We have worked with various companies, including Virgin Fitness, the NHS, and certain parts of the NHS, which is one part of the NHS, which is actually quite a major part of a project we started, which is called Genomics England, which actually deals with genetic and data diversity in terms of from a DNA perspective. Now, that was a great project, and this is the kind of work we like to do, stuff that actually makes us wake up in the morning feeling passionate and empowered about the work we do. And that's kind of my background. I've been doing marketing for the last 15 years. Makes me feel a bit old saying 15 years, because I'd rather say 4 years. It makes me sound like a young'un. But there's a lot of experience here, and it's kind of come to the point now where I think we are kind of getting to a position where I'm now looking to step outside of This Is Run and go into a new venture, which is called Mind Matter, which will Run will still exist, but Mind Matter will be something that's going to be an employee mental health platform, which will focus on employee mental health and wellness. So that's going to be another new chapter whilst Run is still doing its thing. So after that, what we'll do now is we'll go into the masterclass part of the actual session, and I'll say thank you for now, and I'm going to go and put some presentations up. So if you just bear with me a moment. Right. Okay. So this is the marketing state of play for 2023. Now, this year had been an interesting year. What we've had is actually quite a lot of clients who have come to us trying to understand TikTok. So that's been a major area of interest for organizations. The main reason why is the data, as you can see on here, the data suggests that TikTok is by far the most engaged platform for marketeers to be using. The engagement of 4.5% literally obliterates anything in its wake. And essentially, if you're a marketeer and you want to up your engagement numbers and your engagement percentages, you need to be on TikTok. And it's an area where we find a lot of clients don't know how to use it. Now, there are various ways to do that. You've got companies who also look at their culture. When you're doing a company culture day, there's an idea where you can actually implement TikTok to just focus on the company culture of a brand. And that can be just in its own a way of engaging potential new employees, and just exposing the business and its ethos to the rest of the world. So that's one way a brand can do TikTok without having to do lots of fancy, silly dances and videos. And to be honest, the age group of TikTok is increasing. We're now finding a lot more parents on TikTok. What's happened is a lot of people are leaving Facebook in terms of an engagement perspective, going onto Instagram and then going on to TikTok. So what we're finding is a very high percentage of actual parents, moms, employees, anybody, people are moving between 3 or 4 platforms at once. So in the morning, people will be checking their Instagram, their TikTok, their Twitter. There is no real one single platform where people consume data. But what you do find is that what the type of data they want on these individual channels are different. So on Instagram, they're probably looking at more lifestyle things, health, fitness, that tend to do really well. And a big area which we found is often costly but highly effective is making videos. So video, we've had a survey, 87% of marketers feel video has helped drive sales. So video is a core driver of sales. And if you are in marketing, or if you're trying to really promote your brand and your business, video is where you start. Before your blog, before your content, you've got to really hit down on video and actually focus on a strategy that makes it cost effective. We've all got mobile phones. A lot of these social networks, a lot of these influencers are using mobile phones. You don't need a big production house. You don't need a big agency to come in and do major production. You've got your mobile phone, you think of an idea and you shoot. If you've got a employee engagement day, if you've got a workshop, just video that. As long as it's not sensitive, that kind of content can be spread onto sites such as TikTok. And that's what we're finding. So in terms of, there's also another area where people are predominantly really focusing on is the influencer growth side of things. So people are trying to grow their influencer list, grow their relationship with influencers, and boost the actual performance of those influencers. And what we found is 67% of marketers plan to spend more on influencers than they did last year. So the influencer side of building your business and building your brand, it's growing, and it means you can't overlook it. There's an influencer for almost every single industry, even if you're a lawyer, if you're a nurse. If you just have to look at TikTok, you've got nurses giving advice, you've got dentists giving advice, you've got everybody, builders, electricians. Everybody should be able to have content. Every industry has the potential to have content that will make their actual audience stand up and listen. So essentially, we've got a big growth. So, hi, Tristan.
Yeah, I just wanted you to check the questions. It looks like Shri is having trouble logging in, just to let you know.
Okay, where is that? So questions.
I tried to send the link again, but it doesn't look like it's working.
Well, look, that's the right link. It is the right link. That's
Maybe
definitely,
email it to him again.
if that individual had the link, had the link, it should be the correct link. That works. That is exactly the same link. I'm just going to click it now. So just bear me.
Thank you.
a moment. No. Right. It seemed to be fine. I can't do much because I'm actually hosting this now, so it kind of will potentially kick me off. So if there's a way for Sri to on, if somebody can
drop his email, can you drop his email there, and then I'll try to do it. I got it. Go ahead. Yeah. Keep going.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So essentially, what we're finding is, in terms of engagement, consumers are often finding that targeted ads this year have been working really well, and often we've got 49% of consumers are finding that targeted ads are how they find their perfect product. So you've got to continue doing that, and the least popular way of actually finding a product is actually from hearing about it from direct in DMs, which is a bit of a very personal way to do things. We don't really recommend going direct to DM to try and promote your product or services. If anything, it can give your brand just a bad image, and it's not something we kind of recommend you do. So we're going to go into the main reason why you're here, because as a marketeer and marketers and entrepreneurs, you want to grow your business, and that's the main thing. You want to understand how you can do that, what the most cost-effective way, and what kind of tips and tricks do you need to kind of get that done. One thing we have, it's a constant battle on our side with other agency, is trust the data. If the data says you need to go and do X, do X. Often what we find, and this is a big thing, is opinions are very, very strong. I've worked in departments where some people just want to do video or they want to do something because that's the opinion and that's their opinion. It's not actually based on data. And if you start focusing on data and you make decisions from a data perspective, trust the data, utilize the data, and understand your data. It's not just about click-through rates. It's about what are people doing on your website that is making sense. Are they purchasing something? What is the lull? Why do they not go through and convert? There are lots of real bits of data you can find through that. And if you don't have the data, one thing I would suggest is you start making sure you've got the right type of tracking. So yeah, you need to have the right type of tracking on your website. And you often can get that through Google. So if you're not sure about tracking, I would suggest you really kind of double down on getting tracking on your website so you can track your sales, you can track events. Often we find clients saying, oh, we did PR and we don't really know how much, whether we've got any traffic from it. What you need to do there is you need to make sure you've got an event tag. So for a specific day, you put an event tag, magazine goes live, and you put that into your Google Analytics. And what that does is that will then help you, when you're looking through your data, to identify what actually happened and what was a big driver in your sales or a big driver in your actual audience participation on that individual day. And back to video, you're going to hear video a lot because we've had to really expand on that. And as an agency, we've had to really double down on video. We've got a whole production company that we use to work with clients now. And short form content is the king of all content. So essentially, people are consuming short form content. They want things snappy, 15 to 30 seconds max. No one's reading in a traditional sense anymore. People want to be, if they're scrolling, just imagine what you do on Instagram, what you do on TikTok. That's what your audience is doing. They're not doing anything special because it's your brand. A lot of the time we hear clients thinking, oh, but they love us, they love our brand, so of course they're going to watch the whole video. Do you do it? If you don't do it, then why do you expect somebody else to? I know when I'm on Instagram, I'm scrolling, we spend certain periods of our time on Instagram or TikTok, and that time is to see the next video. That is what you've got to remember. Your client, when you look at your customers, when they're on TikTok and Instagram, their real core focus is to see the next video. So you've got to make your video short enough to grab their attention and memorable enough for them to remember. Otherwise, just go to the next video. So really focusing on your strategy for video and trying to bring a lot of that in-house to make it cost effective. Use a mobile phone. We stress that because mobile phones are very cheap and an effective way of producing content. If you don't have a great camera on your phone, just invest in a good camera phone, a phone that's got a good video. iPhone generally have really good quality videos, and most of the Samsung Android phones are quite well adapted in that area. And another thing when you're doing video to just remember is sound. Sound quality is so important. Just invest in microphones and anything that can actually boost the quality of the actual audio that you're presenting in your videos. So what we've got here is video, short form videos have the highest return on investment of any social media strategy. So if you don't have video in your strategy, well, you might as well kind of look at the data here and think, why have you not got it? And you've got to also look at the fact that it's got the highest return on investment. You're missing out. So video is a big area for people to be focused on. Just like last year, if anything, we're finding more and more conversions are happening via video, purchases are happening through video, and people are going through to purchase. Again, TikTok is one of the brands that are leading the way in this, and it's something we have been really investing in terms of TikTok brand videos. So when you've got a product, just TikTok it, just make sure you're making people aware of your product. And we also have one thing that we are struggling with our clients is everybody's scared of TikTok. It's not scary. Just like Instagram, there's always a way, and you just need to find that right niche for your brand to do well on a platform like TikTok. It's going in the next year or so, TikTok will be bigger than Instagram. That's where the data is leading. That's where all the stats are leading. It's going to be bigger than Instagram. So why are you not putting TikTok at the forefront of your video strategy? So that's kind of where we're at the moment. And we are really trying to focus on TikTok and Instagram, because those are the two places where you've got engagement on Instagram and you've got higher engagement on TikTok, but you've got more conversions on Instagram. So you have to marry the two. When you want those engagement, you use TikTok. When you're looking for pure sales and conversions, Instagram at the moment seems to be doing better than TikTok for that. So you've got to utilize the two platforms for their strengths. This is going back to data. Understanding your data is, again, so crucial. You've got to understand your data before moving on to more platforms, because what we find is a thing we call platform creep. And a platform creep is somebody that needs a new platform, needs a new software because they think it's going to make their job better. And they think that new set of data is going to elevate their actual brand and their performance. What they actually need to do is understand the data they already have, make sure they maximize the input, maximize the data that they've got already at hand before looking for new data. So data is king, and it's something that you really need to focus on. And for us as an agency, data has become even more important, especially as we're going into the world of AI and machine learning. Another thing which as agencies we always have is people presenting us with marketing plans. And I can say 80% of marketing plans are never completed. 80% of marketing plans don't see the light of day in terms of actually getting out what is on that paper. It's a pretty document, and that's what it seems to be very effective at doing. I've done it myself. I've created great marketing plans, and then the actual output is not the same. So what you need to actually start doing is looking at your plans and focus on the small things that make the bigger things happen. And that will actually help make your marketing plans more effective. More actionable, achievable strategies are the way to go. And also, just remember your limitations. Your limitations are your team, your resources, your budget. Don't put down things you can't do in your plan, because that doesn't help, and it doesn't actually help you or your team. And one thing you'll find is when you don't hit those targets, it brings the team down. And a demoralized team, it will be an underperforming team. Ideas. Now, this is an area I'm really passionate about. It's where we get our ideas from. I've had ideas from a brand when I worked for a company that focused on buildings, and they were a commercial property business. And one day I had a cleaner come up to me and made a great suggestion about customer engagement. And a lot of the time, the employees and people within your businesses are thinking of ways to optimize the business. You've just not asked them. So what you can do to kind of get that done is actually have little open days where anybody can come to the marketing team, and you can call it a marketing team open day. People come in, share their ideas. You'll find people from accounts that will come in who've thought of things. The business will have so many individuals who are sitting there thinking about ideas for the business, but they're too shy and have not been given the opportunity to share what their ideas are, or to share things that they think could be done better. And from a marketing perspective, we always need to be listening and always need to be tweaking. So always look at where your ideas are coming from. If all your ideas are coming from the marketing team, you're doing something wrong, because you're missing out on the brilliant ideas that could be coming from a salesperson, that could be coming from the accounts person, a cleaner, anybody within the business often will have an idea about something that could actually generate income for the business, or generate a new type of marketing campaign for the marketing department. So don't be scared to get ideas from outside of your department, and always have an open door approach in order to get more information, more ideas, and share ideas. As you're doing marketing, share ideas with other departments. They will come back, and sometimes there will be pushback, but you will get more information by sharing your ideas, and it will also open an open dialogue within your business, where people feel that the marketing team is approachable, it's idea driven, and it's accessible. And you'll find people coming to you with ideas because they've seen something somewhere. We don't have all the eyes and ears. Marketing departments are often very small. So we need to be very nimble, but also use our ears and our eyes, and actually have the open door approach to the business as a wide. And as I mentioned, there are kind of a few ways of doing this. Hold mini workshops, which can incorporate different departments. And those departments, you can have 30-minute workshops and just get some ideas and just understand what those departments think of the business, think of the brand, think of what the marketing team is doing. How do they view the marketing team? Are they seeing any retargeted adverts from their home? Are they seeing any marketing activity in their life? And if so, what do they think about it? And how did that make them feel? Involve people, hold these little workshops, and you will get a lot more information out of them. Another one is to actively collaborate with PR, HR, and sales. You would be surprised where a lot of marketing organizations don't actually integrate with PR. And sometimes there is a disconnect. And it's the same with HR. But HR are one of the most important departments for a marketing department. Not to keep your job, but mainly because HR are all about the people. And the people within your business, the culture within the business, also need to be marketed outwards. The world needs to see culture. And culture is so important. So marketing and HR really need to work together. And also the sales team. The sales team are your eyes and ears to your customers. They know more about your customers than you'll ever know through your data set. They know their pain point, their motivation. They know more than you will know about your customers. So always incorporate your PR team, HR, and your sales team, because the sales team are crucial to that. And another one is utilize people-centric aspects of HR to gather ideas. So like I've mentioned before, you utilize the departments to gain ideas and to actually show them that you're listening, which opens up the marketing department. Because often, being in a marketing department, we tend to have quite a bad rep where people think, what is marketing doing? What does marketing actually do, and how does it impact us, and what are they doing for the business? Are they bringing in sales? People need to have a better relationship with marketing so they understand the value of what we're doing as marketeers. And this is an area where we've got machine learning and AI and ChatGPT. I've had clients come to me and mention ChatGPT, and they've said they don't want to use us to do content anymore because they've now got ChatGPT to do it. And within a couple of months, they've all come back saying, right, we tried to utilize ChatGPT and the content was the same, or it was the same as our competitors. And the reason is people are utilizing ChatGPT in the wrong way. Rather than using it to churn out content that is similar, you utilize ChatGPT to finesse what you've already built. So if you're trying to figure out ideas, use ChatGPT to get ideas, but then go away, create your content, create your idea, think about that idea, and then run that through ChatGPT for anything else, any little bits of information that you may have missed. And once you've completed content on ChatGPT, one thing I will always tell people to do is run it through Grammarly or Pro Writing Aid. So Pro Writing Aid and Grammarly kind of humanize the robotic content of ChatGPT. So at the marketing department, if you're writing stuff in ChatGPT, one thing you will notice is that the content will always sound very similar and very academic. Ways around that will be to use different tone of voices, but still you need to make sure you use it as a finessing tool, not the tool to create all your content. And that is what we're seeing at the moment is ChatGPT is making a lot of marketers very lazy in their content production, and you're now noticing content that is inaccurate and content that is actually very similar and doesn't stand out from the rest of the competition. So that, I think, is the main kind of takeaway that for this year that marketers should be focusing on, and really honing in on making sure you utilize your existing team, open up the marketing department for ideas, and basically use ChatGPT correctly. And the last one is it happens all the time in marketing, is basically never give up, fail fast and continue. You will find that a lot of the time marketing individuals will tell you, oh, I started to do TikTok, it didn't work, I only got 2 views. I started to do Instagram, it didn't work. And then we shy away and we move on. We're trying to find something that's going to give us instant gratification and an instant hit on our and that doesn't work it doesn't work that way. One thing to remember is everybody starts at 0. There's nothing bad about that. We all start at 0. We celebrate our first 10, first 20, first 100, first 300, and so on. We celebrate every milestone. So celebrate those micro achievements, because that actually helps boost the morale of your team, is celebrating micro achievements and making sure everyone feels that they're doing something. Even if you have just hit your 100 Instagram followers or your 100 TikTok followers, that's still something to be celebrated, because at every time in history, every major player had 100, had 200, had 300. So just remember that it's something that you need to be open to, and celebrate your successes, and also fail and fail fast, learn and continue. Now we're going to bring back Regina Lawless to go through some bits about her experience and her knowledge from a HR perspective. Hello, Regina.
Hello.
Hi, can you join the stage? Okay, I think you have. Right. So actually, there was one last slide on mine, but we'll leave that for now because we want to get back to you. So what we've got here is, let me just bring up the screen. We've got a few questions that we'd like to ask you, and I think we spoke about it recently, so I'm just going to update. How can business use talent diversity as a powerful tool to fuel performance?
Yeah, I love this question. And you actually touched on this already when you were going through how you get data. And really, businesses can use talent diversity by tapping into diverse, not only just people, but their ideas. So you had talked about reaching out, not just to, the marketing department, but really expanding your inputs. And that's really the key behind diversity in the first place. It really is about unlocking and unleashing people with cognitive diversity. So you want people that have different ways of thinking, who are going to just bring a different perspective, a different vantage point to whatever problem or product or service that you're offering as a business. And so while you can't see cognitive diversity, right? It's not something that's visible. A proxy for that is finding people who come from different racial and ethnic backgrounds, different genders, different just lived experiences. That's how you can get the different viewpoints that you need to solve problems more creatively.
Okay, thanks for that. And why are soft skills the magic touch to bringing out the best in leadership teams?
Yeah. And it's interesting. I don't know who coined the term hard skills versus soft skills. I actually think that we should come up with a new term and just call it like, I don't know.
Skills?
Right.
Cool skills?
Cool skills, the best
Life
skills.
skills?
Yeah, because I really think that, what we call quote unquote soft skills really are the critical skills that leadership teams need, because despite all of the technological advances, we have AI, we have machine learning, fundamentally businesses still run on people. And so as long as you have people in the equation, you need leadership teams that are emotionally intelligent, who know how to communicate, who build trust, who can be inclusive. All of these softer skills are actually the critical ones that you need to make people feel invested in your company and your mission. If you can't communicate to your employees, that causes a whole host of problems. Even as a marketer, if you're trying to execute a campaign, if you can't rally your team to go above and beyond, or give you the information that they have or experience that they have, then all is lost. And I think, Kwesi, a great example with the chat GPT. Yes, we can use technology, and we should. It helps to accelerate so many things, but there's no substitute for having good people and leading them well so that they can fill in the gaps that robots can't do yet, and hopefully never. Hopefully we always need people.
Okay, so another question is, what were the key diversity challenges that Instagram faced when you joined?
Yeah, I think similar to the tech industry, and I think this is also largely an issue faced by all companies to a degree, but really it's growing and retaining diverse talent. So I think companies have done a pretty decent job of attracting diverse talent. I think for the last, let's say 5 years or so, there's been a lot of concerted effort on how you attract diverse talent, a lot of targeted programs, particularly in the tech industry. That it is known that the tech industry is not very diverse naturally. So there's been a lot of effort. But what I've seen with Instagram, and it's something that I focused on as a strategy, is how do you then grow and retain? Like, we can attract the diverse talent, largely that those diverse employees are being funneled into lower level positions. So how do you help them actually stay at the company long enough? So, which is tied to feeling a sense of inclusion and belonging, but also grow up the ranks. Like, how do you then take these employees that you've invested in hiring and create opportunities and a sense of equity where folks that need just more access to opportunity, whether it be sponsorship or mentoring, whatever the case may be, you create access and opportunities for them to advance. So that, to me, will continue to be one of the key diversity challenges is growing and retaining talent.
Okay, any tips for small businesses and how they should what they should do in terms of approaching their talent acquisition strategy? Because obviously small businesses don't have the resources, but they still are trying to acquire talent, and often they don't have somebody like you there to kind of really make that diversity kind of option as an option. Because I find a lot of small businesses, what they do is you hire on wages, what that salary is, and we don't necessarily even look at the neurodivergence, those individuals that have talent that are just not on paper. So how do small businesses, how can they kind of like tap into that from an early stage?
I love this. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. So oftentimes when people are hiring, they're looking for a culture fit. So I think we've probably all heard that term, like, oh, I want someone who fits my culture. That is a recipe for homogeneity, right? Because people tend to, there's similar to me bias, right? So people tend to want to hire, be around people that look like them, think like them, act like them, which studies have shown that certainly makes things easier in the workplace. That's certainly more comfortable, but that is not the most effective, and it's also not the most innovative. So if you're a small business owner, even if you're starting with hiring, 1, 2, 3 employees, yes, you want to have, of course, a strong vision and culture for your company. And you want to ask questions that attract people to that larger company vision and culture. But when it comes to the individual, you want to look for culture add. So what is that person going to add to my team and my culture, as opposed to finding people that fit like cookie cutter into the mix? Because then if you're looking for just fit, you're going to miss people who may not have, this traditional background, or who may be different than you, but have so much more strength in areas that you don't have. So I always encourage leaders and business owners, look at culture add. Like, for example, if you are, as the founder or CEO or executive of the company, if you're a great strategist and visionary, don't go hire a team of little mini me's who are also little mini strategists, and go find some people that bring other elements that you don't have, and that think differently, because they can challenge you and help you kind of bring your vision to life. But if you're concerned, for example, if you have a value of care, you can still find people that think and act differently than you, but value care, so that you're still protecting your company and your business, but getting people who think differently.
Okay, thank you for that. So it's one of those things where we found, from when I've worked in previous companies, is that from a marketing perspective, we would often be quite linked in with the cultural aspect. We'd be producing the pamphlets and all the, what you can almost call company propaganda as such, to kind of get people to think this way and think the company way. But like you're saying, if everyone's thinking the same way, you're missing out on ideas, you're missing out on potential actual advances in your business, because everybody is being put into the same box and expected to kind of follow that role. And that is kind of, I think, when you mentioned about the diversity, in terms of like neurodivergence, how did that look from a hiring perspective?
Yeah, so I think a couple different ways. So one being, what I like to recommend to companies, being really clear on your job description and your expectations. Oftentimes we weed out so many people just with the language that we use, either the language being very gendered, or we are asking for qualifications that either don't make any sense or not critical for the job. So, for example, one of the things that tech companies have had to work on, oftentimes you're looking for people, or our recruiting team, they won't necessarily say this, but oftentimes the referrals that they get and the criteria that they're looking for is people with advanced degrees from Ivy League schools. Now, we know that sounds great on paper, and some people might be like, well, why wouldn't you want someone from an Ivy League school? That, of course, leaves out so many other people who didn't have the money or couldn't, for a variety of reasons, get into an Ivy League school, but are just as talented, if not more. And so that's one of the things, that's how you can start to look for people who are, or at least make your job descriptions attractive to people who may be outside of your kind of neurotypical, or your your traditional backgrounds is look at your job descriptions and what you're actually asking for and make that just the very bare minimum of what's really needed to be successful in the job. And then go look in different places. Again, if you're only sourcing from Ivy League schools or if you're only looking for referrals, multiple studies have shown referrals also lead to you having a very homogenous company because people, hang around generally people who look like them. So that would be another thing I would encourage small businesses to do, to shake the trees and look in different places if you're looking for people who have different backgrounds or diverse ways of thinking or being.
Right, we've got a Anoop here. I'm not sure if he can join the stage. He represents Netcore Cloud, who are sponsoring today's event. Anoop, can you hear me? Can you join the stage? Hello?
I think we have to add him as a speaker.
Yeah, I tried to do that earlier. It wouldn't let me. I think we need to unregister him and then register him back. What does it say?
I sent an invitation. Let's see if that works.
We've got something saying getting ready. Okay. I'm not sure.
There we go.
Hello.
Hi guys. Hi.
Hi, Anoop.
Sorry. Hi. I'm Anoop. I'm from Netcore. I head the pre-sales, account management, and CSM at Netcore. I was not supposed to be here. It was Shri who is supposed to be here. Unfortunately, he's having trouble logging in, so I just came in to cover for him. Happy to contribute in any topic that we may discuss.
Thank you so much for sponsoring, and it's great to have you.
No problem at all. It's a good evening in Amsterdam. I'm happy to take this here.
Perfect. Could you actually give us a bit of background about Netcore, the platform and what you do and how you actually help marketing teams grow and scale?
Absolutely. Netcore is a full stack marketing automation platform, right? We essentially help marketers scale their marketing efforts, be it from helping them in product discovery to search to powering their emails using innovative ways is where we help marketers realize the potential of unlocking true success, right? And we are a KPI driven company, which means that we always run behind North Star metrics of the marketer, be it increasing the sales, be it increasing people coming on the website, be it reducing the churn. So that's where we contribute. And again, we're a 25-year-old company, bootstrap and profitable. We've been in about 18 countries now, helping more than 5,000 customers unlock marketing challenges.
Do you have the presentation that Shri was going to do at all?
I do.
Perfect. Could you share that with us?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Cool. If you could stop sharing. Again, as you see, just give me a quick thumbs up when you see my screen.
Yeah, we can see that.
Perfect. Again, it's Shri's presentation. I'm just only covering for him.
You're taking credit for his work, basically.
and that's why I've left his name there. So cool. Again, I think the topic is a very interesting topic and very close to what we do at Netcore every day. With powering more than 6,500 customers, what we've learned from those emails, right? Our platform currently sends about 30 billion emails a month. With a lot of unique emails. So we hold that experience, and I'm going to share some of my thoughts. Traditionally, the first email got sent in 1971, right? And from there, it's been an evolution, right? From how it's been a product oriented service and then product plus service, plus how it's become a customer centric service. And then today, all the brands hold relation-centric relationships, right? Or they focus on relations, and this is a good change, right? And this good change, people really, when they come on, when you actually send out an email, people want outcomes, right? They don't want redirections. It's not the static one-way communication anymore. They really want response outcomes right in the email. The patience level has gone down, the attention span has gone down, and they really don't want generalization, right? They want personalization. They want to see curated products. They want to understand what they get, what is in it for them, right? And again, where is all of this happening? It's happening in mailbox, right? And mailbox is the busiest place ever. It's flooded with it's flooded with brand emails. It's flooded with a lot of promotional content, marketing content, and this is where you're fighting your space to become one of the top eye gainer, right? At the end of the day, you want the customer or the shopper to see your email. That's your primary focus. And then, of course, click and do a purchase, right? And that's where what we are trying to do is we're trying to see how we can help marketers improve that or fight that space. And that's where there's a lot of scope for innovation, right? And people get creative. It's more, again, one of my head of product terms, this is real estate, right? The real estate of email. Within the email, how do you optimize that space? How do you use that is all marketers KPI, North Star metric. And to that, how can we help, right? How can we help ensure that the purchase or the sale is happening within an email? And that's where they're leveraging the dynamic emails, or we call them interactive emails. Interactive emails are very interesting that way, right? It's no longer that one-way communication that used to happen with your customers. It's now a two-way communication, right? Instead of you having to go and implement or click on a link to go and pay, what this interactive emails does is it brings that experience to the mailbox, right? As you see here, once somebody clicks on a particular link, the payment is happening within an email, right? And similar example, right? Engagements within an email, which means that people are now able to shop within an email. Let's say you add shoes, you add your address, you continue to pay, and you connect your payment gateway and continue to complete the payment, right? We're bringing the entire shop to your mailbox to ensure that there's no redirection at all. So the attention span of 7 seconds, whatever is there, we're kind of grabbing that entire attention to ensure that the sale is happening. And we talk about this as we go along. Again, instead of traditionally using unsubscribe button at the bottom, you can creatively use another coupon there to ensure that the user is making the second purchase, right? All of this, what happens is it reduces your funnel, right? The time to purchase. So traditionally, if you see here, the traditional email funnel has been send, deliver, open, click, and then you go into product purchase. What we're doing is reducing 2 steps there, right? Once we're reducing 2 steps, the sale becomes faster. And I think we've quoted some stats here. From 100%, there was about 1% conversion. But with dynamic emails, with email 2.0, what's happening is the conversion rate has increased to 5%, right? And these are some stats that have come out of implementing the AMP or dynamic emails. And the possibilities are endless, right? Not just AMP, but not just purchase or feedback, but the possibilities of you driving these use cases are very high, right? Right from increasing average order value, where you can set up your cross channel, or you can sell your products, you can upsell your products, you can personalize the products, and then increasing engagement to ensure that you actually do gamification campaigns, you do surveys, you do live chatbots. I think there's one of the very interesting example here for interactive chatbot. So at this moment, the user is now able to chat within the mailbox, right? So there's no reason why the user should go out of email. We're bringing everything to him, right, or her. And again, this is where a few of the very interesting thoughts come out of marketers, where how do we ensure that we go ahead and improve the welcome series? How do we touch the user's journey during product display, during product search? How do we ensure that we gamify these offers? So during every touch point, right from the time user comes onto the website to completing the purchase or recovering a cart, across the journey, you can ensure that you send these creative dynamic emails to ensure that the user is always hooked to the brand. Well, I think that's one of our key observations over the last 2 years, where these dynamic emails have actually been a very key success to marketers' efforts. And again, a quick overview of Netcore. We've been a 25-year-old company helping marketers across the globe handle their marketing KPIs. And the impact that Netcore has created over the last 25 years is we've ensured that we've touched upon a lot of global brands, increase their marketing ROI, increase their increase their product landing page purchases, marketing generated ROI. And we've directly contributed to their revenue. And as you see here, that's what we've been doing.
Okay. All right. So, for example, how easy is this to scale from a small business perspective? So, we've got access to a lot of retailers. Now, these retailers, for example, will have maybe 100 products. How can they utilize Netcore within the Netcore platform, or is it mainly for more enterprise customers, or do you support the startups and the smaller designers and brands?
No, Netcore is for everybody, right? Netcore is for every brand that wants to uplift their marketing journey. Again, we can run different programs to say, hey, if you're a smaller enterprise, if you're a smaller organization, this is the success plan that you need to follow, right? These are the key KPIs that we need to follow. For example, a KPI for a startup could be increasing their shopper base, right? And with whatever limited shopper base do you have, what can we do, right? For mid-market, the KPIs might be quite different, right? How do you retain those customers? For enterprise, how do you aggressively go ahead and push your dormant users to go complete the purchase, right? So Netcore, so what we do is we have a dedicated customer success team that sits and works with the client. We want to be a part of their team, extended support for their team to ensure that the KPIs are met. So let's say if you are a marketer trying to ensure that you have sale from your 100K users, or at least increase your conversion from 10% to 20% out of your 100K users, we want to be part of your team. I want to be your colleague helping you achieve your goal. And that's where Netcore kind of holds its true charm. And that's what makes us stand apart from the competition.
Perfect. Okay. Now we've only got 2 minutes, so we're going to wrap up. And thank you for saving the day for because we were really worried that we weren't going to get Sri available, and you've been very helpful, and it's great that you've come on board. And it sounds like the product is amazing, especially the whole integration within the AMP emails. You're staying in an email, you're purchasing from an email, you're not even moving outside of that world, and you can get your pair of trainers probably the next day. That is amazing. That's
the whole point, right? This action, again, as I keep thinking about this, as I stare out of my window, I get more use cases, right? Now you said you order your trainers and you get them. What if I extend that to also giving you a tracking link within an email? So you actually start looking at it at a more holistic perspective and ensure that you are always ahead of your competition. So let's say you are actually limiting yourself to ordering shoes. I will go one step beyond and give you the tracking link for you to follow, so that you never go out of my email or never stop interacting with me as a brand. So that's where I create that brand awareness, brand loyalty. That's great. Okay, and can you provide what we would like to do is obviously provide some PDFs and stuff like that to the audience once this is over. We'll be emailing something probably tomorrow to the UK audience, and then probably today to the US audience. And it would be great to then do a follow-up, because I think this has been enlightening, and I think there's probably a bit more that we can learn from the Netcore side of things. So hopefully we'll behind the scenes, we'll plan something a bit more focused on the emails, because we've got a lot of retailers
even for us as a client, and Tristan, who runs the magazine, which is a fashion magazine. There's a lot there in what you've mentioned that I don't think you've managed. You are able to kind of give it the full, work that you're not able to shine the light on everything it does. And I think there's something amazing there that would help a lot of retailers who just want things to be easier. You want to be able to get your feedback, all of these things. If it can be done in one email without ever leaving, it should get rid of that whole issue of feeling annoyed with another email coming through, another one coming through, another one coming through. So yeah, thank you for your time.
And also all of the other issues with leaving the cart, or somebody forgot to check out, or, and then you have to, on the other side as well, not just the consumer, but also the brand and the sales department. So I would love to talk more about it, but yeah.
We'll be in touch, and thanks everybody for attending today, and we'll share this recording as well, because it's been recorded, so we'll share this, and also we'll be doing an email to the rest of our audience as well. Those who couldn't make it will be getting an inbox with this. Obviously, it won't be the netcore version of this email that they'll be getting, but we might work we might get there at some point. But thanks for your help, and have a great evening, and have a great morning, and have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.